We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
The Haneys have broken their silence and they explain why they are suing Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy Promotions. You clicked on the video to hear the latest and greatest and why that is occurring. In this video, we will go over what is being said. Bill Haney broke his silence as to why they are suing, and I'll give you my thoughts. Roll the clip.
Don't let this go over your head. Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions were awarded $1 million for damages for the fight Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia on April the 20th. I asked one question, is why would Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions receive $1 million in damages? What damages did they occur? For that, Devin Haney Promotions and me, we thankful to Devin Haney and stepping up and allowing us to do our job with Devin Haney Promotions and sue the entire outfit. So with that saying, the suit stands, and Hall of Fame promoter Bob Arum, I'm ashamed that you as an attorney also would advise that fighters don't sue. I mean, haven't you been sued before? Marvin Hagler, Terence Crawford, so lawsuits are part of business. Welcome to boxing and the Devin Haney era. Don't let this go over your head. Oscar.
I mean, right off the bat, that was a bit weird for me. Bill Haney says, don't let this go over your head. Why would it be over our head? We're not being sued. We're not suing anybody. So it's not like U.S. politics and the election is November. So it's important to know who the commander-in-chief is and vote and things like that. So I can understand trying to bring awareness to voting because that actually impacts your future as well. This is a lawsuit between y'all, Devin Haney Promotions, and Ryan Garcia and Oscar. So I don't really get that. Don't let it go over your head. But, that's light. So let's keep going.
De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions were awarded $1 million for damages for the fight Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia on April the 20th. I asked one question.
Ask one question.
Is why would Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions receive $1 million in damages? What damages did they occur?
It should be incur, not occur. But anyway, so Bill is trying to sound like he's a lawyer or something and make it sound camera ready, but I'm not really understanding what he's talking about. For starters, the reason Golden Boy Promotions was awarded money was there is a process, and I want you guys to understand this. Like Bill Haney said, don't let this go over your head. So you don't let this go over your head. Okay. So there is a process, a due process, and a procedure when someone does X, Y, and Z. So when they write the rule books, they outline explicitly, in the event a fighter misses weight, ... happens. If the fighter passes a drug test, if the fighter doesn't pass a drug test, what should happen? So in that rule book in New York, that's the way the rule is written. So Bill Haney's asking us the question of, hey, what damages did Golden Boy get? Why don't we get some of the money? Don't let this go over your head. I didn't write the rules, whether you agree with the rule or not. The reality is that's the process as explained by the New York State Athletic Commission. It doesn't really matter if you like it, if you don't like it. That's the rule. So let's say this wasn't Devin Haney and this was Floyd Mayweather. If the situation played out the same for Floyd, that would be the same thing. The organizer, aka the promoter, they are the ones that, you know, get this amount. So he's making it sound like it's some kind of conspiracy against the Haneys, but it's just the rule that they have in place. No more, no less.
I ask one question is why would Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions receive $1 million in damages? What damages did they occur?
And again, this is just a shot in the dark, but the promoter is the organizer of the whole event. So they have to put in dollars for promotion, backdrops. They have to promote on TV, flyers, billboards, you know, all these types of things. So a shot in the dark, I would imagine the promoter stands to lose the most money if something flops. Like, for example, UFC Sphere at the Sphere. The organizers stand to lose the most money, not Sean O'Malley, because he's just a fighter who happened to be fighting Marab on that particular card. But the ones that would lose the bulk of the money, or if something happens nefarious with the show, it kind of falls on Riyadh Season and UFC and Dana White, because they are the ones with pretty much the upfront cost. So that's just my shot in the dark of why Golden Boy or the promotion, because again, this is not a conspiracy. It doesn't matter if it was Golden Boy, if Devin Haney was the lead promoter in the same situation and it was their event and everything was billed under them specifically, they were a true promotional outfit, then the money probably could have went to them. So it's nothing really there. So I don't understand what he's saying. And again, I gave you a justification as to why the organizer, who stands to lose the most money and have the most shame, because this is their event that they're putting on. So if a person pops dirty, you know, the money goes to the organizer. Because let's be real, Golden Boy, unless it's otherwise proven, they didn't supply Ryan Garcia, so they didn't do anything wrong. Like, Golden Boy didn't know Ryan had Ostarine. There's nothing that shows that they injected or gave Ryan Ostarine. So that's a fighter's personal choice. So it kind of makes sense why the promoter would be the one that, you know, re-ups or recoups the $1 million.
Golden Boy Promotions received $1 million in damages. What damages did they occur? For that, Devin Haney Promotions and me, we thankful to Devin Haney and stepping up and allowing us to do our job with Devin Haney Promotions and sue.
What does that even mean?
We thankful to Devin Haney they occur. For that, Devin Haney Promotions.
For that, Devin Haney Promotions and me, Bill Haney, his dad.
We thankful to Devin Haney.
We thankful to Devin Haney for allowing us to do our job and sue.
And stepping up and allowing us to do our job with Devin Haney Promotions and sue the entire outfit. So with that saying, the suit stands and Hall of Fame promoter.
Again, he said the suit stands. It just came out yesterday. So who said it didn't stand? You know, no one said he was like retracting his lawsuit. So a bit weird.
Bob Arum, I'm ashamed that you as an attorney also would advise that fighters don't sue. I mean, haven't you been sued before? Marvin Hagler, Terence Crawford.
See, and this is the thing. The Terence Crawford filed a complaint, and see, this I can't listen to stuff. You got to be well educated to know what's going on. Terence Crawford filed a complaint against Top Rank. There were things that were wrong with the initial suit. His side was required to address those issues and resubmit. I don't believe that Terence Crawford ever did that. So Bob Arum has already said, as far as he's concerned, there is no suit. And Bud, I haven't heard anything about that lawsuit since then. I mean, when's the court date? When are they going to court? When is Bud set to appear? This was when Bud did that. That was before he fought Errol Spence. He has since fought Errol Spence, beat Errol Spence, and then fought with Turkey in LA against Madrimov and moved up in weight. So Bill Haney is trying to, I don't know, slight Bob Arum and throw him under the bus like, you've been sued before. But the information is not really correct. Terence Crawford had filed a complaint, but then if the court ordered you to resubmit it, or there is no complaint, and then we haven't heard anything from it, then he never really sued. Like in my book, at least, to sue someone means you get a resolution through the courts. Not like, hey, that's like if a person accused you of whatever. I don't want to say a bunch of stuff, but someone accused you of something and then they dropped the charges. Then yeah, they brought up the idea of, hey, this person assaulted me at the bowling alley or whatever, but they didn't follow through with it. So that's not really a lawsuit. So again, this video seems very pointless to me. Talking about Bob Arum and Hagler. Hagler's no longer here. I just went over the Terence Crawford issue. And either way, none of this has anything to do with Devin Haney.
Suit stands and Hall of Fame promoter Bob Arum. I'm ashamed that you as an attorney also would advise that fighters don't sue. I mean, haven't you been sued before? Marvin Hagler, Terence Crawford.
And listen to what he just said. He says, I'm ashamed with Bob Arum that you being an attorney, you're advising that fighters don't sue. First of all, I didn't hear an interview. I'm not saying he didn't say it because he just had a Michaela Mayer, Sandy Ryan card. So he probably did say it. I haven't seen it though, but I'm just going off of what Bill Haney said. And he's like, hey, you're an attorney. I'm ashamed that you would suggest that fighters don't sue. Haven't you been sued before? Just think about what he just said. So Bob practiced law. He's a Harvard graduate. We all know that. And you're saying you're ashamed of him because he's saying fighters shouldn't really sue, right? But then you say, hey, haven't you been sued before? It just sounds weird to me because you're telling fighters not to sue. You're saying you're ashamed of him because of his statement, but then you're referencing him being sued, which would actually make sense why Bob Arum is saying that fighters shouldn't sue, because he has been through lawsuits before. And I don't know if it was a waste of his time or a waste of the fighter's time, but he still has a promotion. He's still here. So he tried to kind of connect the dots, but it doesn't, for me, it doesn't really connect the dots. If anything, that would be the reason why Bob Arum suggests fighters don't sue, because maybe he's been sued before, and maybe it's a waste of time where more often than not, the fighter doesn't win or whatever the case is. So again, this video seems rather redundant indeed.
I'm ashamed that you as an attorney also would advise that fighters don't sue. I mean, haven't you been sued before? Marvin Hagler, Terence Crawford, so lawsuits are part of business. Welcome to boxing and the Devin Haney era.
I don't know. It looks like Bill Haney's losing his touch. The video to me sounded very just rushed. He didn't really say much. It's like he wanted to speak to the people because there's a lot of people who are name calling, and I already told you it's a bad look for Devin Haney. I've never seen a fighter who fights for a living fight another fighter inside the ring and then sue them for battery. That just looks and sounds pretty crazy indeed. I've already went over some of the other points in the lawsuit. we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. And it's funny because the Haney actually be like, oh, you're just mad. You guys are mad that Haney's suing. Why would Boxing Ego be mad? I'm not Ryan. I'm not Golden Boy. I'm not being sued. That's what I'm saying. People just say things. I tell you, there's a lot of low quality content, bad audio, bad visuals, rushed videos, doing quick videos. Notice I'm taking my time with the video. I got all day. Today I got time, cuz. Right? I take my times with my videos. I break it down. I give you guys something to think about. I'm articulate. I'm nice with it. There's a lot of people who are just rushing out quick videos. Hey, let me just put out quick 2-minute video to cover this real quick, but it's not really saying much. People who won't even take the time to read the lawsuit. I've obtained a copy of the lawsuit and I've already started going over it. So there's a lot of people, they haven't even read an article about it, and then they're just like, yeah, this is a good idea, but you don't know what is being alleged in the whole thing. So take my word for it, don't take my word for it, the pay is the same. You can't trust everybody in boxing. But I said what I said. I think this looks crazy for Devin Haney, and a lot of the lawsuit seems very frivolous, where it's like you're arguing for stuff that I personally, again, I'm not a lawyer. It doesn't hurt me or help me, no matter what the outcome is for this. But for me, a lot of this stuff is going to be kind of hard to prove. How do you prove that Ryan Garcia intentionally ingested Ostarine maliciously with the intent to maim your son? How do you prove that? He's saying something different. He's going to probably take that to the grave. He doesn't have a track record for failing. It's not like it's Dillian White, who's failed multiple PED tests in the past, you know? So how do you even prove some of this stuff? You talking about the IV and Ryan missed weight. The bottom line, it sounds like Haney knows, or the Haneys, they know that Devin Haney got packed out and, you know, put in the meat grinder. Ryan chewed him up like a garbage disposal, and they know this has affected Devin Haney's brand. So instead of getting it back in the ring, they would rather do something like this, a lawsuit, hoping to gain some money and then like set a precedence for, yeah, we were the first to make the cheaters pay and stuff like that. So fair play. If you think you have a lawsuit, clearly they do. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have submitted it and wasted everybody's time. So like I said, fair play. It doesn't hurt me or help me, no matter what the outcome is. But just from the overview and looking over the document and what's being alleged, I really struggle to see some of those points. The unjust enrichment is probably the strongest point, but talking about Devin didn't sign up to fight a guy who was going to miss weight. I mean, get over yourself. There's been so many fighters that have contracts with guys and then the person misses weight. It's up to you and your team, if you have a strong team, to decide, do you want to continue to pursue this fight despite the fact that a person has missed weight by an egregious amount, such as the case for Ryan Garcia. He missed by almost 4 pounds. You clearly had a choice there to say, this man has acted bizarre. He's acted insane. He's acted completely bat-ish crazy. I'm not fighting him. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. He missed weight by almost 4 pounds. We were consummate professionals and he wasn't. I'm fighting nobody, or give me Arnold Barboza, who's in the same weight class, they told you before this fight, in case Ryan pulls out for any litany of reasons, that Barboza was on the card, someone in the division that Devin was in, just in case Ryan did some funny business. They told you this. So you could have easily said, F Ryan, I'm out. He's too unprofessional for me. And I would have understood it, hand over heart, because at that point, there was no Ostarine. At that point, it would have solely fell on the shoulders of Ryan Garcia. Devin made weight, even though he had to weigh in naked, he still made his weight, the contracted weight. At that point, it would have been, Ryan Garcia, you're so unserious, you miss weight, and the reason the fight is now being canceled is because of you. And it would have made perfect sense to everybody. And nobody would have shamed Devin Haney except for, people, haters or something. But it would have made sense. How you gonna get mad at someone if the fight gets canceled, but the opponent came in? Wait, I've seen fights get canceled. The person was a pound and some changeover, and then the opponent's like, I'm not fighting this guy heavy. Makes sense to me. But it was the arrogance of Team Haney that interpreted this as like, oh, he's missing weight, he's super undisciplined, we train hard, we got a great team and a great game plan, we're for sure gonna beat this undisciplined Ryan. And you were chasing Tank, you were chasing that bracket, that A-side bracket, and you wanted to do right, and you made a big misstep, a miscalculation, and chose to continue fighting this man. And then on top of the missed weight, we later find out he tested positive for Ostarine. But we wouldn't even got to that point because the fight should have been canceled. So that was 100% in Devin Haney's power. Furthermore, if we're talking about court, right, you got to look at stuff like this. If we're talking about court, there was a moment in the ring, you're suing him for battery, right? There is literal clips of Ryan beating the brakes off of Devin Haney in the ring, and he points at Bill Haney and says, hey, stop it. Your son is hurt. He's badly hurt. Just throw the towel. Live to fight another day. Ryan was begging for mercy. That's what I'm saying. I don't think some of you guys are thinking straight. You just see lawsuit, yeah, cheaters, make the cheater pay, but you're not understanding how courts work. So again, there's a sequence where Ryan Garcia was pummeling and dropping Devin Haney, hurt him throughout the fight, and he's like, man, just throw in the towel, Bill. It's over. Just end it. And he wasn't even throwing punches. So if your case is he's malicious, he's a criminal, he's a cheater, a killer is not going to have no compassion. A killer is just going to keep on mashing you, right? So if you're suing for battery, there was an opportunity right then and there to stop the fight. He offered you a way out. Bill Haney didn't take it. That is your decision. You chose to allow the fight to continue for another 5 painful rounds or whatever it was, after he was badly being hurt to the point where the ref was giving him time. Devin could barely walk. His legs was bad. So there's your battery right there. The battery could have ended. And then here's what. It would have been nasty at the time. It would have been like, oh, Devin got stopped. He has a loss. But then Ryan would have popped dirty. And then that would have justified it a lot more. Like, okay, he got the stoppage. He stopped the man. But then he tested positive and flagged for a banned substance. So we can't really, look at it like that. And then a lot of people would have understood, and then Devin would have got his record back, just what happened, the other way. So the sustained punishment and beating was absolutely Bill Haney. It was Bill Haney and the ref. There were moments where the fight probably should have been stopped. Ryan even begged for mercy, like, just stop this, Bill. And Bill said no and refused to throw in the towel. Now, these are the same people saying Ryan battered my son with the intent to hurt him. Also, Bill Haney is the one that says before the fight, I'm sending my son in there to unalive Ryan Garcia. And he said, Ivan Drago, if he eyes, he eyes, right? You guys know the line from Ivan Drago. So you went from that type of talk is I'm trying to unalive, I'm sending my son to unalive Ryan 187. And if he eyes, he eyes, to like, oh, they try to hurt my baby, and suing and lawsuits. And then the Haneyacks, they refuse to address anything that I'm saying because they're not real and they're not they're not unbiased. So they're not even looking at anything that's being said from myself and others and rebuttaling it, because there is no rebuttal. Devin, his team has kind of done the gangster talk, the tough talk. Bill Haney said, oh, I'm 50-0 in the streets. Floyd, nobody care about 50-0. I'm 50-0 in the streets. But then you pushing paperwork. That, what part of the street code is that? You know what I mean? Instead of just pushing for the rematch, you're trying to get paid. You're trying to get a lick off of it. And like, oh, you know, sympathy. And I just think it's a tough spot. I think it's a tough spot. You know, some people are going to be like, yeah, make the cheaters pay, set precedents. But you also have to, people are pushing for that, but you have to have a strong enough case to prove it. Because if this does not work for Devin Haney, this hurts him even more. Like, the best case scenario is if he gets paid out some enormous settlement, you know, and then he wins and like gets, oh, he got $50 million by suing Ryan Garcia. But the downside is, if it doesn't work, or the case gets dismissed, or you have a weak case and the judge feels you can't prove what you're talking about and you lose the civil suit, then it's going to do more harm than did good. Even if he won and got a boatload of money, his career's forever impacted as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, depending on how this plays out, I guess people can decipher if it was a smart move or not. Like, I guess if he wins and gets his way, then you could say it was on the smart side of things. But just for what I'm seeing, I think it's doing more damage. I feel like Devin Haney has a lot of missteps since the fight. Like, since April 20th is like nose diving, fighting at the OC County Fair, getting in the car when Tank ran up on you, right? Arguing at people. When Ryan got suspended and your fight got overturned, doing a dancing video at the bowling alley, suing Ryan for battery and fraud and Golden Boy. And here's the thing is, and I could talk for a long time because there's a lot I got to say about this, but the other issue is, when we're talking about this lawsuit, it becomes harder when you try to implicate more people. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I watch a lot of courtroom dramas and crime drama and stuff, pretty well versed on this stuff. The more people you implicate, because not only do you have to prove that Ryan did X, Y, and Z, now you got to prove that Golden Boy needs to be included. Similarly, Canelo, he did the same thing. He put the paperwork in, and when he was trying to get released from Golden Boy, he put DAZN in the complaint too. But then the judge was like, nah, DAZN, they're not really a part of this. Your real beef is between Golden Boy and whatever contract you have and whatever breach of contract, blah, 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 Ali Act, yada, yada, yada. So Canelo did try to take down multiple people, but eventually DAZN got dropped off. And when we're talking about Golden Boy, Oscar already went on record, says, Devin, he's like, Devin, you're pathetic. You think you can beat Ryan? You're pathetic, right? And he says you can audit my company if you think that I didn't pay you well. So anybody who's saying that, I think hopefully their books are in order if they're recommending, hey, you can audit me if you want. And then, like I said, the weight we've already addressed, the IVs, how do you prove that? Like the IV, you don't even know what was in his system. You don't even know what was in the IV. It was on the video clip. So a lot of this stuff is just, like I said, frivolous and kind of hard to prove. You're saying a lot of different things, a lot of accusations. Oh, Ryan did this on purpose. How do you prove that? How do you prove that he intentionally ingested it when he brought Scooter in and he's blaming and saying, hey, I brought new people to my team? And I just feel like it becomes an uphill battle. It definitely becomes an uphill battle. I truly feel that Haney's had several opportunities and ways out from the fight. Before the fight took place, they could have done rehydration clauses. They could have pulled out and fought Barboza. When Ryan was in the fight saying, I'm beating your son's ass, you should stop this, they could have stopped it and that would have like at least minimized the additional rounds where he continued to get hurt, things like that. So I really feel that Haney's played this fight wrong, and now they're trying to right the wrong all at once, and like, oh, we're gonna set precedents. I mean, it's just, we'll see. It's court. We'll see how it plays. That's all I can say. Like, that's like me doing the Tour de France with Lance Armstrong, and I find out he cheated, and I came in second place, and then I sue him, and I'm like, oh no, I was really the first place if he didn't cheat. You know what I mean? Like, some of this stuff becomes hard to, I guess, get the justice that you want. How many guys in boxing has this happened to, where people fought and the fight was already concluded, and then we find out that the person tested positive? Like David Price. See, I'm the best in the business. I got it all up in here. This is off the top of the dome. This whole video, I've been talking for 30 minutes, all freestyle. No cue cards, no script. A lot of people, they do these videos, they be stuttering and stammering and looking all around and stuff. Your boy Ego, I'm off the top with it. I'll be like Jay-Z, I'll be one taking my so y'all just know that. But David Price, he fought a guy named Erkan Tepper. Erkan Tepper knocked out David Price brutally. It was later found out that Erkan Tepper had illegal substances in his system. But David Price, that probably like kind of ruined his career, because he had already been knocked out by Tony Thompson twice, right? And people said he had a weak chin, and that was like a last hurrah type of fight. So that fight with Erkan Tepper very well could have ruined David Price's career. You know, why Price had some money to his name, why he didn't sue Erkan Tepper? Because again, what is the basis of the lawsuit? You know what I mean? Like, you have to prove whatever you're implying. And I really think that's an uphill battle. He's already been suspended. He's serving his suspension. I mean, I feel like you're gonna have to drag in a bunch of like random Ryan tweets, like, oh, he tweeted this on April 27th and said, I love steroids, Your Honor. And then he'll be like, I was joking. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never seen this whole thing is a mess. I've never seen it, so I guess we have to see how it plays out. We unpack.